Hi there, Joka here from A Pocket Full of Happiness, and in this video I'm going to show you some projects with the new Finger Puppet Cats die set. As this is the first video with this release, I'm gonna show you all these boxes that are full of die cuts because that's what I do now. I die cut everything I will need because my die cutting station is well, it's a desk in another area in my office, so I'll do that first and then I go do the videos. And to kind of keep the small pieces together, I use some present what was it called? Present seal, right? Because otherwise I would just lose everything, and also even though I think I will remember, I definitely will not. Now I learned that this process takes quite some time, and then I got distracted. I had family over, and after weeks I don't even remember now all these videos that I already edited, some weeks ago. So I hope I'm not going to make a lot of mistakes, but what I wanted to say is that all these small pieces might be a bit overwhelming or discouraging, but I tried to include every small piece in this video just so you know what they are used for. Or you can get creative and use them for whatever you like some of my friends do. But anyway, I wanted to make a cat with, I hope I used every single piece just so you know what they are used for. Anyway, so as you can see, I am gluing together a color piece and also a white die cut most of the time because I want to create some dimension, just so, well, it's not going to be realistic obviously, but it's gonna look nicer in my opinion. So here I go. I'm gonna add a layer of, well, I already added a layer of white cardstock to the head, but I realized that I actually made a mistake there because I wanted to use some double-sided or foam tape in between the head and the body. So I die cut some more of the head from white cardstock, and in fact I layered two together because I feel, even though it's a heavyweight cardstock, I feel like I want it to be sturdy, and with foam tape it's a bit wobbly. And then I'm going to add all my little pieces. My goal with my die sets is always to achieve a colorful look, to add as many colors as possible. So sometimes I will have a die for the same thing in two different ways. So for example, I have a die for the whole body, then I have a die for just the head, but the whole body also has the same shape as the head, you know. So technically I guess you could also cut it apart, but I like to have a die for this. And then for example, the ear I have on the head, obviously on the body as well, but also just as a separate ear, so that you can, you know, some cats have two different ears, so you can just use a different color for one ear if that's what you like. And then I have a bunch of different spots that you can create with. I try to think of a variety of cats. Of course, there's so many types that I will not be able to create all, but I hope that I covered quite a few. Well, I have a ragdoll and I have a Bengal cat. So the Bengal, I kind of have in this set. So it's like she looks more like a tiger with stripes, but the ragdoll I kind of, well, I will show you what it's not quite, not it. She doesn't look quite like that, but similar. I will mention it when I get there. So now the foam tape, as I said, to raise the head, and then this one is the larger or taller cat, and you will see that there are shorter ones, but that they have a different dye for the body, but the head is the same for all of them. So you can create two different size bodies, but just so that you can mix and match these dyes, I thought it would be practical. So here's one cat. And I call them finger puppet cats because they are actually the right size for maybe if somebody gets, or well, if any of you likes to create with felt, maybe you can create this. I have never used my dyes for felt, so I actually don't have an idea if they cut well. But I have seen people use normal dyes for felt, so maybe if it's something that you've already tried, maybe you can create some. I would really love to see that. I think it would be funny. So on this one, this is the shorter cat, and as you can see, there's a different color ear there. That's the piece that I was talking about earlier. And then the belly, again, I'm layering together two cardstocks so that it stands out, but you could also use a bit of foam tape if that's what you prefer. And then I have a bunch of, I think, actually I don't remember how many, but there's several different spots that you can use for the eyes. So just to make one eye have a spot, or both of them like I do here. There's even one bigger one, which is what I used for my ragdoll, even though her face is kind of gray in a large spot, so not just around one eye. And then the nose, you can also create a variety of different ways, because like I mentioned, I sometimes have different dyes for the same thing. Like you will have a part of the nose in a small dye, and then there's a larger, which now I forget what the name of it is. Sometimes I see it on black and white cats, this white part in between their eyes, or even ragdolls have, I think what was it called, that ragdoll? No, I don't recall. One of them has a triangle kind of shape. But anyway, I saw it on so many cats that I wanted to add it here. And somebody actually told me the name of it in English, which I don't know in any other languages either. I didn't even think it has a name. But that little piece over there, that long piece with the nose at the bottom, that's what I'm talking about, but I don't use it here. Anyway, so you can create that from a different color than the snout and the nose. So again, it's just so that you can add as many colors as you want, or you can obviously use just one color if that's easier for you or quicker, or you have just a single color cat, because that obviously also exists. Sorry about all the blabbering, but there's not much going on here. Then you can use, there's different eyes that you can create. This one is closed, and you can also obviously put it in two different directions. This one looks happy, but if you put it the other direction, it kind of looks a bit sad, which is what I did on another cat, but you will see that. And then there are some markings like that the dye creates already with the on the head, the whiskers and some dots, because these are things that, you know, I didn't want to create a die for. Whiskers, it's just so small and flimsy. I thought this would be easier. And then I'm also using a white gel pen to add the few little details, which actually normally I forget, but now I remembered, and I don't know, it just adds a little bit of something to it, a bit of fun, I guess. Okay, so then this cat is done as well, and we can move on to the next ones, or at least, well, this was all that I created on camera, and then the rest off camera, just to show you some. So these are my cats. Freckles is my Bengal, and the other one is, and the ragdoll is Mayo. And so they don't exactly look like that, but you know, the best I could do. So cover plate, Fishbone. Again, this one is an A2 cover plate, but I like to create 5x7-inch cards. So as you can see, I just use the cover plate at the top. And what I always do with cover plates to start out with, not all of them later, but if I want to do something specific, then I do something else. But this Elizabeth Craft Designs, this is a 6-inch wide double-sided tape. It's a huge roll. I have it for years. And then I create some panels that are already covered with it. So these are 5x7 and also 4¼ by 5.5-inch panels. And then I just die cut the whole thing. And as soon as I die cut, then I turn around. I keep the cut plates together and turn them around, and I add the glue, well, the panel with the glue on top of it, if that makes any sense. I think in one of the videos I will show on camera what I did, as far as I remember. So this one I didn't use, but I wanted to show you that panel that already had the pieces missing, which you could do that. You don't use glue, like liquid glue that I'm doing here, if that's too much work for you, but you could just use the double-sided adhesive panel that I showed earlier, and then you could add these little pieces into that. It's not going to be, well, this one that I'm creating here is not going to be completely flat because I'm adding those pieces on to it. I'm calling it onlay instead of inlay, which you would do with the double-sided adhesive panel. But why I didn't do it in this particular case as well, because you see that the little eyes, those I would have to add back as well. So, I mean, I am kind of crazy, but not that crazy. Or maybe I would have done it, but I just didn't feel it was necessary, and I prefer to use liquid glue anyway. So you could see that I cut the some of these fish from different colors, and then I created every row in a different color. And the body of the fish, you see, I was thinking about having like a die cut piece there, but again, that would have been so tiny and skinny, and I wasn't sure what quality that would be. So I decided to replace that with some faux stitching, and yeah, hopefully it still is visible what I was going for. And of course you could use this for dogs. Oh, and then I have 3 new sets of sentiments, and I created all of them from black cardstock with white letters, just so that you can see all of them. I took some pictures for my website, so you can see what sentiments there are in every set. But I do use quite a few of them throughout my videos. but they look really great from different colors, or in a colorful way. I think I worked on them for like I don't even know how long, but it took a while I die cut all of them from all the sets, but I love them. I love them more than embossed sentiments, because I cannot for the life of me create a clean embossed anything. Like, there's always going to be flyaways. I'm just really bad at it. So I now have the look, but then with die cutting. I love die cutting. I know I've already said that. So I would choose that over stamping any day. Yeah, what else did I want to say? As you can see, I'm adding some foam tape to my cat. Now, I don't remember the width, but I think these are the thin ones. I think maybe like 1-2 millimeters thick. And then again, I'm adding some dimension to these pieces by layering them up with white cardstock, and I think even 2 layers. And just to make this very simple panel that is just pink have a bit of dimension, I'm adding some of these pieces here and there, just for some fun and variation. Nothing really, I don't know, no meaning to it or anything. And I will add 2 kitties to this one. And the sentiment, actually, that I forgot to mention, the smile sentiment comes from also a new set that's called Jumbo Emoji, and there is a larger sentiment in it, like here, with the faux stitching around it, and then I just use the letters in this case, and from white cardstock. And then I used, I kind of spaced them out a little bit to, it's a large card. I felt like there's space there for a larger sentiment. And now I am creating my favorite card. This is a slimline, a standard size slimline, so 8.5 by 3.5 inches. And I created a smaller panel. I think actually I wanted a little bit larger, but I messed up. Okay, I'm not really good at actually, I would be lying if I said I'm really bad at math, because I'm not, but sometimes I just lose focus, I guess, and then 1/4 of an inch here, 1/4 of an inch there, and then yeah. And as you can see, I just added some foam tape to all of the cats that I already prepared, and then a sentiment, and then it's done. So, but the size of these cats would be perfect for smaller cards as well. So I hope you enjoy these. Thank you very much for all the sweet messages on Instagram. I'm really happy that you like them, and I'm really sorry that I didn't create a dog set. I wanted to, but then I forgot. So sorry. Maybe once in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.